Hello there! Welcome to in.notion, the place where we talk about books that can make you think about life, about choices, and especially about money. We're not here to act like know-it-alls or teach you anything overly heavy. We're just chatting like old friends having afternoon coffee, discussing important things that often aren't taught in school. Today, we're discussing a book that made me smile to myself while reading it because, oh my goodness, this is so me. The title is Money College, written by Roy Gakucho. This book is light but deep. It talks about money, but not in a way that makes your head spin. We're going to discuss why learning about money is important even as early as your college years. Our conversation this time will cover these points. 1. Why learning about money must start while you're young. 2. Financial mistakes we often make without realizing it. 3. Social pressure and a consumptive lifestyle. 4. The Japanese way of thinking about money. 5. Realistic tips for managing finances. And finally, stories of people who successfully achieve financial freedom through simple methods. We'll discuss everything slowly. I remember so clearly back in college, I was once willing to skip meals just to buy limited edition sneakers. Not because I needed them, but because I wanted to look cool. All my friends had them, so why shouldn't I? In the end, those sneakers were only worn 3 times before sitting idle in the closet. Meanwhile, my wallet was empty, bills kept coming, and instant noodles became my best friend. At that time, I thought, oh well, that's just being young. I can make money later. But it turns out those kinds of habits don't end on campus. They carry over into your working life and eventually become a pattern. According to Roy Gakucho, college isn't just a place to get a degree, but also the best time to learn how to live. And money is a crucial part of life. If you can understand money from a young age, you won't panic when you're suddenly offered a credit card or when your first salary disappears in a week, because you already understand how the game is played. We've all done this. Getting money and immediately spending it, not recording small expenses, going into debt for the sake of prestige, or following someone else's lifestyle even though we can't afford it. Roy says, it's not about whether you are poor or rich, but about whether you understand what you are doing with your money. Have you ever opened Instagram and scrolled, seeing your friends on staycations in villas, having fancy coffee on rooftops, or buying the latest gadgets, and you feel like, oh man, why am I just at home? Why don't I have that? Slowly, you feel like you have to join in just so you don't look different, so you aren't seen as outdated. Eventually, you buy it anyway, using Paylator or cutting into your savings, or even going into debt, all for the sake of a post. That's what Roy Gakucho discusses in Money College. If we aren't careful, we can become slaves to social expectations. Our lifestyle becomes controlled by others, not because we need it, but because we feel uncomfortable being seen as different. But really, being different isn't wrong. Roy says financial freedom isn't when you can buy all the expensive things, but when you can say no to things you don't need and you don't feel like you've lost yourself. For example, you're invited to hang out at a fancy cafe, but you know you only have enough left in your wallet for a week's worth of food. You have the choice to decline. Say you're saving up, and that's not something to be ashamed of. Or you look for an alternative. Make your own coffee at home, then invite your friend to the park to chat in the open air. You can still have fun without having to spend money you don't need to. For instance, there's a story in this book about a Japanese student named Haruki. He used to diligently follow his friend's style, often hanging out at bars and buying branded clothes. But eventually, he realized after one semester that he had to work twice as much part-time just to cover his credit card debt. Since then, Haruki created a strict budget. He still hangs out, but he chooses places that fit his budget. He became known as someone who was smart, thrifty. Finally, he was able to graduate without debt. The key was just one thing: daring to say enough. Daring to have your own standards. Because in the end, your life isn't about satisfying other people, but about making you feel peaceful inside and outside your wallet. Have you ever felt guilty when throwing away leftover food or felt really bad about leaving the lights on in a room? If so, you already have a bit of a matanai sense. In Japanese culture, matanai isn't just about being thrifty, it's a philosophy. It means it's a shame to let something go to waste. Not just food, but also time, energy, and money. Roy Gakucho grew up with this value. He tells a story about how his mother always said even a 100 yen change is still important. It could be a bowl of rice or savings for a textbook. In Japan, young people are taught to understand the meaning of money even before they receive their first paycheck. Imagine, at 19 years old, they are already taught to make a personal budget, not for show, but so they understand money is a tool, not the goal. They usually work part-time jobs not because their parents can't afford things, but because they are taught a sense of responsibility. Some work cleaning shops, distributing flyers, or as parking attendants. All of that makes them realize how precious every single bill earned from their own effort is. Rio once shared that during college, he worked as a waiter in a ramen shop. From that small salary, he set aside 500 yen per day, which is roughly equivalent to $320. Slowly, his savings piled up. In a year, he could pay for one semester of college by himself. Not because he got an inheritance, but because he was patient and he understood what priorities were. It's different from our culture, where sometimes we're ashamed to do small jobs. Ashamed to bring our own lunch, ashamed to say we're saving. Yet, there's nothing wrong with it. What matters is not appearing rich, but understanding why you are spending your money and for what. In Japan, being thrifty is not a flaw. In fact, it's a point of pride. They don't like wasting because they know every cent wasted could be a lost future. Did you know? Many young Japanese people now start investing even before they graduate. They use simple apps, investing in small products, 1,000 yen, 2,000 yen, but they do it consistently. And the result is, by the time they are 30, they already have an emergency fund. Some even own a small house. The lesson is clear. It's not about how much you have, but how wisely you use it. The Book Money College invites us to open our eyes to the fact that this time we've been taught to consume, but not taught to control. We are taught to buy, but not taught to restrain ourselves. We are taught that being cool means having a lot, when sometimes the coolest people are actually those who know when to stop. Rio doesn't teach you how to get rich quick. He teaches simple ways to live peacefully. For example, making daily financial records, limiting weekly snacks, having a specific account for savings, and routinely setting aside money, even if it's just $1 a day. For example, there's Tomoko, a Japanese student working part-time. She saved 10% of her salary every month. And after 3 years, she could pay for her postgraduate studies herself without help, without debt. We are often taught how to memorize formulas, but not how to manage a salary. Often told to be disciplined, but never explained why managing money is important. Money College is not just a book about money, it's a book about life, about how you arrange your own future. Slowly but surely. If you like the way we chat today, don't forget to click subscribe. Here, we will discuss more books that aren't just good to read, but can also help you make better decisions. Because life isn't about who is the fastest, but who best understands the path they chose. See you in the next video, and hopefully, you'll be wiser than yesterday.